Welcome to TradingLounge and the US tech stocks, and starting with Apple here. So we are looking at the previous low down here. So we're looking at an impulse wave to the upside. We can see wave 1 and 2 is quite clear. Wave 3 here, it can be counted in different ways. But one would have to say wave 4, if this is wave 2 here, wave 4 would, poke outside of wave 3 trend line, and that simply hasn't happened yet. So we can be quite close to the top here. I may have the count wrong, but I wouldn't be that far out, So I think there's two sort of things here, is that I think that the target, for trend traders would be the 200. I believe at this point here, the market will stall and have a variety of corrections. The second point is that this current high here, we're at the top of group 2, but I think one of the important things here is that we are at this previous high here. So logically, that would mean, doesn't have to be, but it would mean that we would eventually see this top here as a tested support. Now, to get to a tested support over here, it would take a little bit of sort of wiggling around and so on. So I think that if you're a bit of a trend trader, then you'll just have to put up with new highs and testing previous lows and those sorts of things. So in the first instance, we can put wave 4 here to be completed, and that wave would push up to wave 5. Secondly, it may not be completed because wave 4s can get a bit tricky, and it can come back and test this low here. So you wouldn't want to put your stop under this low here either. So you'd want to be further down than that. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. But I just want to continue to emphasize this top here at the 180. We'll see a bit of a bumpy ride through all of this. So you'll need to be clear about making your mind up about how you're going to approach this. So we can see that the trend itself is not finished. So this would be the target area up here. So it just depends on, what type of trader you are and how close to the market you want to get, and all of those sorts of things. So everybody's a little bit different, but just to repeat that it's going to take a little while to get support on top of this market of that previous high. And so let's go from 20,000 ticks, and because I've rambled on a little bit, let's go to 100. And this is where we are at that top there. Now, we can talk about this being here an A and a B and a C and having a wave 4 in place here, or we're going to have this wave 4 coming in over here, and we're going to see 5 waves come down here and then move up to this point. I think if you're trading stock, just hold on, because this move is corrective. We could look at this move here a little bit differently. We could look at this as 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the third wave, fourth wave here, quite high, but it hasn't overlapped wave 1 here, and then 5. So we could look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It's a little bit tricky to count in here, and the spike on the low here, I don't particularly, I'm always sort of thinking twice about counting a spike in the market. That makes that a little bit difficult. This counts nicely here. This is the actual high here, but I can see that there's 5 from this low here. I can see there's 5 waves in this little move, but one, and so it could be an A and a B and a C here. So it could come down here a little bit further and then push up at that point. So if that's the case, we need to be long above here again. If you're long here already and got previous longs in, then I think just hold this out here. The other side to this is all of wave 1 here with a wave 2 here and moving up. The other point here is the trading level. So we're at 180 here, and when we talk about 180, we need to look at the swing range. So it's group 1 above and group 2 below. So you can't put your stop anywhere in there because you'll just get chopped up. So the other point is that 183, the top of subgroup 1 in this case, if that becomes the support with the classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC, the normal sort of stuff, then we'll be leaving this number and be pushing up to 85 at that point, and then up to 90. So yeah, I mean, I have to say a lot of the, not all, but many of the markets, this particular wave 3 up here might be a different degree, and this wave 4 here or here is something that's in the markets at the moment. So yeah, most of them have got it, and the indices can be the same as well. So just got to be a little bit careful about how we move forward. I just think keeping a much wider stop at this point. One of the, yeah, I mean, we talked about these stocks that had 5 waves down. There was about 3 of them that we had. So we figured that there would be some sort of ABC correction. So that looks pretty much in place here at the moment for this. So we could look at this one here as wave 1 here, 2 here, and we'll look at this as, you know, some sort of 3, 4, 5 coming down here and then up again at this point. So yeah, we'll just keep a bit of an eye on this. If this market takes out the top there, then we're already above the 61.8%, so going long here would be fine. It just never counted very nicely up here either. It counted up as 5 waves to here, and then another 5 here, so an ABC to this point. So we can look at it as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here. So yeah, that's where we are at this point. Long above here, otherwise we're going to come down here. And coming down here, be very careful because it's going to get choppy coming into 1, 2, and 3 here. Okay, so yeah, Friday didn't really close strong, you know, so if it closed strong, then we could have followed through on the Monday, but I can still see that we're in, you know, stormy waters here. NVIDIA, so with NVIDIA here, we're basically looking at a classic trading levels pattern across the level here because it reacted here. So this would be this particular pattern here. We've reacted here. We're in this first move down here, even though it's gone a little bit higher up here. We're still in this first leg here, and then the first high, and so on. So a little bit more to occur here. So the arrival here, the reaction, first high above the level, ABC, and then up again. So we'll end up at 500 here. There's not a problem with that. It's just how long we spend here. Now, it does make a good case, and we've got this here as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here. And we could just go straight up from here. That's a good case. But when you look at Amazon, in the last chart that we just looked at here, the Amazon chart, there's a good case for, based on those 5 waves, there's a good case for this to come down here. So that's what the general markets can do on an intraday basis. So if that's the case, then we could end up over here for this before going up higher. So once again, we just need to be a little bit mindful about the wave 4s. So I'm giving you the bad news first. But we'll end up higher, but this will be the trade over here really for that, because from 400 we'll end up going to 500, so there'll be a nice little trend trade. We can just go to maybe 1000, maybe 100. We'll just go in and have a bit of a look. So yeah, we've been working this for a little while now, and we can have wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, but because what's going on with Amazon and that, we may end up with wave 4 over here, so a bit more of a complicated correction with an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave down here. Unfortunately, it's possible that we can have this done here. We could look up as 1 and back for 2 here. But if you're going up here as well, all you need to do is pretty much buy, you know, a high up here. But if this is 1 and 2, then this will be wave 3 normally goes to the old highs. Take that with a pinch of salt. Wave 4 and then wave 5 here, and then a larger ABC pattern to come into play, and then up there. So you can see the situation. If you bought here, you might want to skim some off the top here and, you know, move back in over here for this. So but in the meantime, coming back to reality here for a moment, Yeah, you know, we can come down here first before moving up at this point. If you're going to go long, then you just need to go long, you know, somewhere up, you know, above this high here, and dump it between 20 and 30 up here. Just get out. And if the 30 became the tested support with a classic trading levels pattern, well, then you go back in at that point, because I need, you know, if that's the way I just recognize, if, you know, if if I've made a mistake, I need, this would be it here. So if I got a classic trading levels pattern here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and the second high here, well, then I'd take the trade setup before anything else. So, you know, it's like, sort of screw everything else. I'll just, and I'll take the setup, because that's what it is, you know. It's about making money. It's not really about being right and wrong, because you'll always be, you know, you'll always be wrong. Not, you know, more, just as many times as you'll be right, basically. Yeah, you've got to be a good loser. So that's that. Yeah, so I'm just a little bit unfortunate, because otherwise, you know, yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate. So we're not quite there just yet with that. And Alphabet's another one where we've got that, you know, nice sweeping move down here, and we're talking about a small ABC, and it looks like we'll have to go down for 1 and back for 2 here, and the same thing here as well, 3rd, 4th, and 5th to come down here to finish off. Could I be wrong? You know, well, we've had this here, we're looking for an ABC, you know. Could this be wave 1 to the upside, wave 2 to the upside, wave 1 to the upside, and back for wave 2, and then going up? Well, of course, you know, you could go along above here if you wanted to. Yeah, I'm just giving the bad news first, because based on that, you know, impulse wave here, should have a correction and then another move down. So we're on track here. We don't really have to worry about it. We've got, I think we've got trades in this market down here. I think on the other one, we're keeping the stop out of the way, so we're not too fussed about this. This is a trend trade. We're in a bigger, much bigger bullish market, and we're just going to stay with that trend, so that's not a problem. Well, when the new website comes, when it comes, I know it's been a long sort of wait, but we're getting there. It's I just don't have zillions. I can't throw a lot of developers at it and get things done really quickly. It's kind of a process, and I have to do a lot myself, building the website and all the rest of it. So, but yeah, I think we've probably spent a good 50 or 60 on it already, but yeah, so we'll put stock trades out there. Me and Alessio will work together we'll check each other's work, and we'll put trades out. So we'll call any trades that we do on these videos, I'll just call them video trades, and they won't go onto the website or anything. They're just sort of suggestions and those sort of things, shooting the breeze, really, you know, doing a bit of analysis and those sort of things. The other trades will be trend trades as such, and then we'll get into growth and dividend portfolios as well. Meta platforms here. So yeah, it's just trending along, isn't it? You know, doing its thing. So stochastics is pulling back nicely here for the next little move up. Once again, you know, I could put, like the other markets, I could put little wave 4 in here, or we've got one more little move to come down, those sort of things. But it's no point in getting out, because it's just going to keep creeping to the upside, you know. And everybody's talking about, you know, AI's the new kid on the block, and you know, all these companies that are involved in it are just you know, it's a new S-curve, so to speak, you know. So yeah, I just stay with this trend, but we're going to go in from 20,000 ticks to 100 ticks, and just check on this here. So yeah, look, last time we spoke, we were looking at this in 2 ways. We're looking at it as an ABC to the downside, and being completed here, and it hit the 38.2%, or we're going to look at this as some sort of B wave here, and then down for the C wave. This market can do its own little thing. How would you count this? That we could go an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave, or we could make that wave 4 here, wave 5 here. This looks a little bit corrective. If this if this top here gets done here, if that gets cooked, then this will be wave 1 with an ABC here, and then this will be 3, 4, 5 for this one, and this one, and this one, and then down. So just be a little bit careful about this one here as well. I may be wrong and it can just keep on going, but I think the takeaway here is you just buy it and hold it. I mean, that's, even if just do that. It doesn't matter if it comes down. If you bought some, if you bought some here, or you got into trouble here, don't get out, just buy some more back over here, because the trend is still to the upside. Okay, so we'll just leave that like that. So we're in this wave 4 problem at the moment, and I don't really have a strong solution to it. I'm just giving you the bad news. Netflix and Tesla are kind of doing their own thing, so we can bring this stop up. We've got a few positions here on this, so we can bring this up. I don't want to bring it up too much. It looks pretty tight at this point. I'm going to bring this blue wave 4 back to here, and I'm just going to paint the worst picture possible here. So it could come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. I know that we're bored in the box here and talked about going long here somewhere again at this point, but it does appear as, okay, well, we've got 1 and 2, we've got 3, 4, 5, so we can put this here. And we could either come back, because this could be just wave 1 here and come back for 2 and then continue on. So the 30 here, if the 30 became the support with the classic trading levels pattern, then you'd be keeping on going at that point. But if it doesn't, then we're going to have to be looking at something like this here, another retest of, obviously there's really good support in this block here now, so it won't, it shouldn't be doing too much damage. But the thing is we wouldn't want to get stopped out. So if you put the stop up here, you're just going to get stopped out. So we always look at group 1 above and group 2 below. So once the 30 here becomes the tested support, well, then we know that we're leaving this number, and then that means that we can bring the stop up to this point, because a stop is only there in case, if something terribly goes wrong, because otherwise, it's your stop's going to be hit more than your target's going to be hit, So, but the trend is all good. We're looking at this wave 1 here and 2 here from this low. So we don't have 3 and 4 yet over here for this. So we've still got, we don't have this 5th wave, don't have the 3rd wave in here yet, wherever that may be. We'll just keep on working it. So, we're 2/3 of the way through this particular trend here. So, but there's still, it will be up at 500. That's our sort of target area at this point. Shouldn't be too much problem. Yeah, so that's Netflix. And Microsoft, so the same sort of AI sort of thing happening here in that regard, of course, and we've got stochastics pulling back. So yeah, this is sort of where we are, but I've got the same problem here as well. We can put wave 4 here, or we can put wave 4 over here. So we'll just look at the bad news. It'll be something like this, I've got this wave 3 rather close. I could extend it out further, and I probably will, but it's okay there for the time being. And I could extend this wave 3 up to this point here as well, and look at this here as wave 1 here and 2 here and all those sorts of things. So in fact, I'll just do that there to remind me as well, just to check on that. That would be the next step anyway. But yeah, just to conserve, because this wave 4 here really overlaps this wave 1 here, so it's probably not the right count, but it's okay to start from the bottom and build up, you make less mistakes that way and makes you a little bit cautious and those sorts of things. Our next step here, though, is that getting a tested support on top of 330 here. Because if we get support on top of here, we'll be going to the 50 at that point, and we'll be leaving this number. So that will be the process. We'll just go to 100 ticks in here just to get a closer view of all of this. So this is another, this looks like, I could count that as an ABC, I guess. Yeah, I've got to go with the 5 waves down here. How far can that pull back up? Let me just do a bit of work here. Yeah, it can pull back up a little bit higher. It can pull back up into here before dropping, just letting you know, this can be 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. It could be something like that before coming down. But, and I'll just remove that there. And does that look like 5 waves to you? One looks like 1 and 2. Looks like an A and a B and 1 and 2, because it's quite sharp here, that move, and 3 and 4. Yeah, so it looks like a B wave here. And so that put the C wave here and that there. So yeah, we could just, if you get a classic trading levels pattern, this would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So that will become your reference point a little bit later on, and you'll be able to improve on that to the second level, because when this comes down here, this is either going to be the A wave or wave 1, and B wave or wave 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. I'm not quite sure, but that's the 38.2%. So there's room for it to come down at that point. Yeah, so that's that. We're just being a little bit cautious, as I mentioned, but that's where we are at the moment. I'm just double checking. That's cool. And Tesla here. So yeah, I mean, I could look at it as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave up here and fail at that point, but I don't think that's the case. But I can't prove that just yet. We'll just continue to keep an eye on this, but basically at the end of the day, we'll be looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here for wave 1, and then an A and a B and a C wave. So don't think you're missing out, and from wave 2 then we'll go up into this one up through here, so that's how that's going to play out. And this 5 waves here, that will confirm that we're going to be going up a lot further at that point. So we'll be ending up at 1,000 or something at that point. So that's where we are, generally speaking. And clean my mess up there. And yeah, so for this structure, we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So we've got 3. So we're into the other end of the of this trend now. So we're into the 4s and 5s, as they call them, 1s and 2s. And the 4s and 5s. So that's really sort of where we are up here. We want this wave 3 here to be longer than wave 1, of course. It's just nice if it is. So we'll see how that plays out. Doesn't have to be, but so if it's not, if it's not, I mean, when I say it doesn't have to be, that's cool. And it doesn't have to be. It just means wave 5 is shorter. You get that situation where you get wave 1 and 2 and 3 a bit smaller, and 4 and 5 coming into play, and then then the ABC pattern here, that type of thing. But when this occurs like this, then you got to kind of start thinking about other counts as well. But if this is a nice strong third wave and it can't be anything else, well then it clears up a lot of doubt. So yeah, it is what it is, and we'll see what it is when it is, so to speak. Yeah, so that's where we are at the moment with this. So we can expect the 250 to what sort of history has it had here? It's had some massive swings there. So, but anyway, we shouldn't get that, but we should be fluffing around here a little bit. So I'm just going to go from 20,000 ticks to 100 ticks, just to, no, I'm going to go to 1,000 ticks by the looks of it, because I haven't updated that. So that's wave 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. and I might need to rearrange this here now too. I'll have to double check that, but it doesn't really matter because, you know, I know what's sort of going on here a bit, you know. So we're just going to get a variety of things here. Now we'll probably push up to here, back again, and then push up here, and then do this here, this type of thing, you know, until it bases on here, you know. So I'll just have a look at 100 ticks. Maybe I have been working on it. I should have been working on it. Oh yeah, I have. Sorry. Yeah. So even though I've counted this through here, it's just not looking right. I have to extend it out a bit further, but leave that with me. But yeah, in the meantime, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be over the you know, over this week. We're going to be, I don't know if that's finished here just yet either. I mean, it could be counted as an A and a B and a C here, then 1 and 2 here. The 2's rather big, so it might get a bit bigger and uglier, but the thing is, it's just going to be bouncing around, you know. The top end of 265 down here to 230 would be the major space here, but probably be smaller than that. But it's just, you know, like I said, it's just going to spend time above and below here in corrective patterns. And I know that because when it reacts from here first, then it's telling me that this number is important. And that means that when it pushes up here, I know it's important. It's going to have a lot of pull. So when everybody's piled in, it's going to pull it back, you know. And then value buyers will come in. They'll run out and they'll do this, and you know. So it's going to be doing something like that. So we've got a few longs here. We're not going to get stopped out. We're just going to keep the stop well out of the way. There's no point because it's going up higher. Do you know? So that's that. And I just thought I'd have a look at the bank here as well. So this is Bank of America. Everything's looking pretty bullish, so we'll need to go a bit more on the bullish side with this. So from the all-time high down for the A wave, the B wave here, and we'll have to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3, the same thing, and then an A and a B and a C for wave 4. This will be 1, 2, 3 here, 4, 5, and then we'll get one more move down here and here. The only other way, this wave 3 here, if the only other way would be able to finish this off is to put wave 4 here and wave 5 on this low here and have it as a truncated 5th wave not finished. But if that was going to be the case, then what we would do is wait before I could call something like that in. I'd have to wait for 1 and 2, and when wave 3 is done and 4 is done and 5 is done, then anything above that, then we can go long above that 5-wave structure there. Okay, so it'd be a waiting game, but in the meantime, if you want to go long, you can go long, but you're not going to get much range in this getting past, you know, 30 in the old high here. It's going to be struggling, and yeah, so anyway, that's where that is. So this move here can, as wave 1, can be pretty much the same sort of length as this one over here when that comes in. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.